hands together for Mr. Ved Mani Tiwari. I am honored and privileged to have him on stage with me today. Ved Mani Tiwari sir is the CEO for National Skill Development Corporation India, and he's also MD for NSDC International. With a career spanning more than 3 decades across various sectors in leadership roles in India, across infrastructure, across energy, development, transportation, and finally education and skilling. I got surprised when I was browsing through the profile that he has actually been a part of the success story of Delhi Metro. He has spent close to a decade working with Mr. Sridharan in those days. And thanks to that foundation that has been laid, we see today the commute becoming so much more easier and a model that gets exemplified not only in India but outside India as well. So thank you so much, sir, for taking out time today.
Thank you.
You know, I was also told that NSDC is a not-for-profit organization. But what I also heard that when Mr. Tiwari took charge, he was like, not sounds so interesting, right? And he said that I'm going to put together a finance-based, outcome-based model. And that was the starting point when he took charge of NSDC. So, Mr. Tiwari, it will be very important to hear in terms of what led you to that thinking and how did it translate to the people and obviously the overall ecosystem.
So thank you, Ajay. First of all, my gratitude for conference organizers to invite me. This is the second time that I'm coming here, and I love this place. There are so many great people here. So I'm truly grateful to all of the people who are taking time out. This is very important that typically anything which is connected with government has a not-for-profit angle has some sort of waste built into it. And I was very clear that organizations which are created for impact have to be more efficient and productive because their outputs is going to impact many lives, whereas for-profit companies have a very different mandate. And the other thing is that over 2 centuries, the whole financial world has found ways of setting accountability of actions, and still we struggle there. And why not bring some of those KPIs into our work? And that's how I try to reason with my team. I told a not-for-profit company cannot do only 2 things, that I cannot dividend out or I cannot buy back shares. So I cannot return the money back to the investors. But great companies never return money back to investors, because if you have more opportunities to invest in your business, you will do it to grow your business rather than to give it back to your investors. And if we build a sustainable system, we will be able to redeploy the surpluses that we generate into a skill ecosystem. And moreover, it is also important that we wanted to become a platform, and I'll talk about it later. And a platform's true power is its participants. And if the participants come to us and they want to co-create value, they are accountable to their investors, their managements. They want a counterparty who's equally accountable. So we wanted to build this culture so that a private sector can work very closely with us. Thought process was that alone we cannot do what we aspire to, but if we can grow a large ecosystem of participants, that could be great value.
That's so good to know, and I'm sure it will set a great use case for a lot of organizations. Forget about not for being profit, but even for organizations who are meant to deliver profit, I think it's a brilliant use case for them as well. Now, as we move forward, I think if we touch upon the vision of NSDC, it is to build a large skilling platform which is the biggest in the world, right? It's a very big, broad statement to make, but what does it take? What does it take to ensure that we put those ingredients, and who are there as part of the architecting this entire ecosystem to be created. So what does it take to make this happen?
So typically when you talk about a platform, the image of a digital platform comes into picture. Whereas we were very clear from the very beginning is that we have to become a phygital company. Physical nodes will be equally important for us rather than a digital. Digital will become an enabler for us. And with that thought, today we work with 50,000 training centers across the country. Wow. And we'll soon take it to about 100,000 in some time. Our vision is that we should be available in every pin code, every village. That's what we want to be in. When you try to operate such a large ecosystem, you need a lot of governance and trusted system. And that's where the digital platform that we built is built to ensure that this is all done in an efficient and productive manner. So we have presence across 765 districts, 36 states in the country. We work with higher education institutions, more than 2,000 higher education institutions. We work with edtechs. We work with businesses. So if you see our ecosystem comprises of that we work with governments on one hand, we work with private companies on the other hand, we work with educational institutions, and all of this is for the individual. So whether that individual is about to enter into workforce, is already in the workforce, or somehow excluded out of the workforce, those individuals have become our target of attention. And we want to create opportunities. We operate in a 4E framework. We say that education, employment, employability and entrepreneurship, these are the 4 pillars of our strategy. And the 4 values that we drive at, which is based on inclusion, integrity, innovation and impact. So when we talk of platform, we say that inclusion has to become a truly powerful thing, that there are entities, there are people who want to participate into this noble cause of skilling India. So we have to be inclusive from operative perspective. We also have to be inclusive from an impact perspective, that we should not exclude any section of the society. So inclusion works from both sides. That becomes a true value system for us. Similarly, we talk about that this cannot happen if people cannot trust our system. So integrity becomes the cornerstone, and that's why we have built an NSDC trust platform, which ensures that this is stamp of integrity. If you want to do all this, every person who works with NSDC has to be very innovative, and impact has to be created from the perspective of the lives that we touch. And these outcomes, so typically education has to become relevant to everyone. And in today's world, those who are in the education system with the desire to enter into workforce, that's one aspect of education system. But now we know that lifelong learning means that even those who are in the workforce, they need to get back to, so while to educational frameworks, so while those who are in education need to have learned skills so that they become employable, those who are already employed, if they want to grow in life, they want to touch newer milestones in their lives, they have to become more employable, they have to learn the education framework. And all this will convert into an employment outcome. We also believe that the world of work is going to change dramatically. Right. Typically, the work today is defined in terms of jobs, and jobs have always had space-time structure constraint. The technological innovation that is happening across all of us is removing the space-time structure constraints. And now imagine that if space-time structure constraints are removed, there are multiple ways in which the workforces can be configured. And we believe that the fix, flex, and flow will be the key words of the workforce. And that means that we will talk about global workforces. And then the employment and entrepreneurship acquires a completely new dimension. I may be employee at certain point of time. I may be a gig worker at certain other time of the day because in other time zone I can provide that service remotely. And that means that I'm sometimes an employee, sometimes I'm an entrepreneur. And even an employee today in every company has to have an entrepreneurial mindset. So inculcate these employability and entrepreneurship in every individual. That's the vision and mission we have, and that's why we say that we want to create this world's largest platform. From numbers perspective, we have touched about 6 crore lives until now, and we touch about 5 million lives every year. We are expanding our operations globally now. We work with 14 countries now. So that's what our meaning is, that whether you talk in terms of geographical footprints or digital footprints or partnerships or the individuals impacted, this is the definition of the platform that we have. And there's a lot that I would like to talk to people here, that they can work with NSDC and what is the value proposition that we can bring on table.
That's really enlightening. But if we shift gears a bit, and this is going to be a bit touchy. You know, as the CEO of NSDC India and MD for NSDC International, working with so many stakeholders, be it the government, stakeholders, be it the partnerships, thousands of them, what keeps you going? You know, how do you manage your work-life balance? I know there's been a lot of debate around that, but what's your take on that?
I heard Mr. Narayan Murthy few days back. He said work-life balance is very personal, and I'm a big fan of him. I follow that school. Will not go beyond this because we know that what can happen beyond that. It's a personal choice, and I belong to old school of work.
What keeps you going? What's your motivation every day when you come to office? So what keeps you going?
I think this is something we got when we were building Delhi Metro. This was a toughest construction project. In a live city, you want to do a construction of that scale. That's a challenge that was put to all of us. And these were early days, phase 1 of Delhi Metro. India had not seen such a massive construction project. I think we could do that to change all of us. Right. All of us who were part of the startup team of Mr. Sridharan, we all are change individuals, because first time we believe that you can think big and you can achieve it. So believability of thinking big and achieving it has been driving me all the time. The other factor is that I'm an engineer by education, and all my life I believe that technology has changed humankind in unimaginable ways. Every human system, be it social, economic, political, everything, education, everything is impacted by technology. And I have been a great follower of technology and always think how technology is going to change that.
Oh, sure, that's a great answer. Now, when you're talking about leveraging technology to democratize the skills, you know, across the board, in India, as we know, majority of us are in rural areas, right? We talk of breaking down the digital divide to a large extent, but there can be still pockets where it may be still a tough journey to reach to those people, you know, who may still be deprived of connectivity or financial assistance and so on and so forth. So how does NSDC plan to expand to this rural population? Because the metros and the key, you know, tier 1, tier 2 cities are anyway well covered. So what's your plan to go beyond, to expand to some of these rural areas?
So as I told you that we believe that physical footprints are critical, and that's why we want to expand to about 100,000 centers across the country, and that this is our agenda that we have taken for ourselves. But we are bringing technology big time into it. We have built a SIDH platform, which is now available in 12 languages. And soon it will be available in 22 languages. That's one. And that's NLP and the AI technology has been used. But more than this, now what we want to do is that, as you talked about a digital divide issue, now a large proportion of remotely situated populations of India have access to only feature phone. Correct. We are very motivated and we are working on a technology that generative AI keeps me motivated all the time. Can we just have this system that somebody with a feature phone goes and says in their own language, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, that I am a 18-year youngster, I have 10th pass and I don't want to go out of my district and I want a job which can get me 20,000 rupees. Right. Get that sound file converted through our NLP platform into English language, give it to generative AI goes to our digital platform, finds out where the right job is and what skill courses this person should do, find that out, convert that into natural language, give it to the NLP to translate into the language that this person knows, convert it into a sound file and deliver it back. So that's the vision that we are working, and that's why I say that the many innovations of education ecosystem will come from India. And generative AI is the most powerful innovation that we are relying upon and to just disrupt this ecosystem.
I think looks like we're already living in future. You know, the way the conversion of the input into multilingual approach takes place and then converting it back with a response and a resolution, I think it's phenomenal. And I'm sure it's definitely changing the lives of citizens of this country in multiple ways, people who do not have access to things like these otherwise. So I think you mentioned about impacting 5 crore students every year. Let's
5 million.
5 million, sorry.
Total we have touched about 50 million.
50 million, right. Now, if we delve into a bit in the international markets, so what is the impact there? How many countries are we today, you know, across? What kind of a roadmap do you see there?
So, if you see QS report, which has recently come out, the underlying dimension of the QS is, and recent World Economic Forum report also is, that the world of work is going to change dramatically. And QS, if you see the readiness index of that, we are second or third in that list. So that means that if the world of work will become, a lot of people say that AI will take away jobs. I believe that it is never going to happen. Every technology has created more jobs than it has displaced. Just simple example, people thought with ATMs, teller jobs will go away, but with more and more ATMs, more teller jobs got created because banks started doing more business, they opened more branches, and teller's job profile changed. Going forward, it's going to be, we are entering from an industrial era to intelligent era. That means that we are going to have intelligent machines. Both these intelligent machines could be in form of an algo or in form of a humanoid robo on the shop floor. The world of work of future is all about human intelligent machine collaboration. And that's where, because of the edge that we have in IT and the STEM education that's very strong in India, we have to take a leap of faith and skill our youth into jobs of the future. We have demonstrated it as a country. When we got our first identity is a biometric identity. India leapfrogged to bio. Most of Indians never saw a PSTN phone. They went to not only mobile phone, but mobile phone with internet. So, and banking or payment, most of Indians did straight away jump to a digital payment. So as a country, we have demonstrated that we can take leap of faith, which other countries will take decades. I think this is where we are going to work, that the world is a global workforce and every Indian has an opportunity to this. We are partnering ILO, which is an association of 187 countries. We are partnering African Union SASASNet, which is an association of 51 countries. So through these associations, we are reaching out to large parts of the world, that the world will add close to 100 crore new workers in the workforce in next 25 years. World, the new latest report says that 2/3 of these new entrants to the workforce will come from India and Sub-Saharan Africa. That means our claim is not on the GDP of India alone. Our claim is on every third or fourth dollar created anywhere in the world. And that's the vision that we are very proud of.
We're equally proud about that. And, there are a lot of people in the room, or people who are going to hear this conversation maybe sometime later, who would be either edtechs or who would be startups into multiple other, domains. There could be VCs. How should one partner? What are the various opportunities for people to engage with NSDC and create an overall value system? Because there's a lot that this partnership can, enable and ensure on the ground. So any thoughts around what kind of partnership capabilities can we get into?
So one is that there are some value proposition that we can put forth. One is that if you work with NSDC, you become NSDC partner, your offerings become GST exempt. That's a straight
GST?
exempt. So you do your
I don't know. I want to repeat this once again.
Yes. So all the edtechs or new age education providers, you come and partner NSDC, and your offerings will be GST exempt. Any service that you deliver today, if you get it delivered through NSDC, all services provided by NSDC are GST exempt. So we bring you this tremendous value. The other thing is that we get you connect. Whether it's a regulator of ecosystem, governments, or education institutions or employers. So we become a very powerful connect platform. We also give you an opportunity to participate on our digital platforms. We are working, and you know this, that we are working with best of the global certification agencies, and we are bringing their certification at a very affordable cost. You also have NSDC certification. So, and we can do a media buying for you at a scale, which can bring, I know that new age education providers here have close to 35 to 40% of their cost is customer acquisition cost. You can work with us, we can help reduce your customer acquisition cost. So there are multiple ways in which your partnership with us will be beneficial to grow your businesses. And that's what I believe that opportunity is. We, unlike any other regulator or government departments, we are very flexible. You will find that we will be able to work with you, understand you, and create a suitable product for you to partner. So I take this opportunity. My biggest ambition, motivation to come here is to ability to send this message across to all the people sitting here, that we believe in partnership. We believe that together, India has a huge opportunity. Together, we can lap onto this. Just one last point from my side. We have 4.5 crore students in higher education. We have moved to a credit-based ecosystem. So that means, and every student has to earn 40 credits every year. So 160 crore credit business. Each credit is 30 hours, so 1800 crore credit hours, and you can multiply about 100 rupees, even if you charge, if you conclude 100 rupees per this thing, we are talking about 18 lakh crore of education, higher education business alone. And with the new regulation, 50% of that has to come from skills. That means that new age education providers have this landscape that is in front of all of you. And I have not talked about 45 crore people who are in the workforce. They need to be reskilled, upskilled. There are 26 crore students who are in school education, and all of them are connected through a national credit framework, one currency of academic credit, and partner us, and this is the kind of opportunity that awaits you.
I can't ask for more. Honestly, I think AWS has been a partner with NSDC for many years now. And we have seen the scale and the size of these interventions that have happened in all this while. And I can assure you, I don't think government would let go of GST revenue under any circumstances. I don't think there are any areas where they would let that happen. I'm sure the kind of battle that you would have fought to make it happen.
But I want to express my gratitude to the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister and Finance Minister who took this matter to GST Council and got it done. The whole idea is that the government is serious and want to invest in the business of skilling. This is a direct contribution to anybody, to direct contribution to private sector who want to innovate education.
That's brilliant. And, you know, I wish I had more time to delve into so many other areas. But the only thing I want to leave this audience with is our future skilling. And the organization led by Mr. Ved Mani Tiwari is absolutely into safe hands. And there's a lot more that's going to be coming up. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Mr. Tiwari.
Thank you so much.